everyone, it's me, your bag, Master Walrus 9, back with another little bit of one. I know it's been a hot second, busy, I've got some life stuff going on, nothing bad, busy, but I thought I would take a quick look at the starter decks that they just released a few weeks ago. Oh, excuse me. And give an overview of the deck, go over each of the cards, why you might want to play it, and what are some potential combos that are going on. Is it worth your time? Best with it. And we're going to start off with starter deck 21 Monkey. Well, it's starter deck 31, but it's running the leader. Starter deck 21. Here, 5 Luffy. 4 Emperors and a Straw Hat Crew type. He is a block 3 card, 5 life mono red, 5,000 power with the strike attribute, and his big piece is if you attach a Dawn, you can activate main to give 2 rested Dawn cards to characters. So this is all about Dawn optimization. All in all, for a mono red leader, the best, he's really not bad. You want to play Luffy, you want to play him in red, you want to be aggressive, then this is not a bad option. But let's take a look at the other cards. Okay, so the starter deck 31 set list. Starter deck, all cards are going to be at 4 copies with the exception of 3, and I'm going to point those out when they come. But let's take a look. First off, we have 1 cost Monkey starter deck 23 for 4 a common. 3 cost, or block 3 is a 1 cost 2k strike with 1k counter. Film Supernova Straw Hat type, and he has this ability activate main. They rest 1 of your Dawn cards and this character. Give up to 1 of your opponent's characters minus 1,000 power per turn. Is he good? Not really. I'm not a fan of this. He's not bad. Not bad. But he's not good. This is arguably one of the first cards that I would get rid of when building this deck if I was to take 2 starter decks and combine them. If we really think about what he's doing, he's trying to debuff the opponent. But for a presence on board, which actually does matter on this deck, resting this character and an additional Dawn to give minus 1,000 power. If you want the 1,000 buff, just attach it to the character. In this deck, he works a touch bit better. Touch bit better. Because you can rest the Dawn, then play it with your Luffy leader. But if you have no ways to optimize that, if you really need removal towards the late game, don't have the Dawn and you have the room, or you don't have the Dawn rested, you have the room on board, you could get some use. Not useless. It's just so situational. I don't think it's run. Next up, we have an absolute classic Nami Straw Hat Crew type, OPO1 number 16 on rare. Block 1. She's a 1 cost 2k with 1k counter, and she is a top 5 Straw Hat searcher. So very great effect, absolute classic card. That's why she's gotten the manga rare, and she's technically limitless. You can run her for forever. No rotation hit. Honestly, great card. You're never gonna go wrong with this card in your Straw Hat deck. And in terms of searchers, this deck is one that can get a little bit more value off. Going back to the Luffy on drop, you have to rest this character so you don't get to attack with him. If you play the Nami and you want to attack her for the next turn, well, you already can attach to Dawn with your leader's effect, so you only need an additional Dawn investment in order to get the Nami in line. So all in all, not bad. I don't think there's going to be anything wrong with this, and definitely stay in the deck. Next up is Brook, starter deck 31, number 3, a common, block 5, so it's a control card. 2 cost, 3k slash with 1k counter. A Opponent's turn. If you have a total of 3 more given Dawn cards, and this character gains blocker and 50,000 power. Great effect going on. There's really not much to say. I think this is a great card in terms of a defensive blocker. He get online. He's situational, so you kind of really only run him in this deck, but you can use him in others. Total of 3 or more given Dawn, this card gains blocker. Well, if you think you're going to attach one to your leader Luffy in order to turn on his effect, then with his effect, you're going to attach 2. So, for your 3 Dawn turn, you could play Brook, attach 1 to your leader, use your leader to attach 2 to Brook, and then your Brook's online. You got a 6k blocker, which, if your opponent's going to optimize their Dawn for their swings, got a really good defense on your turn 2, all things considered. So I think this is, personally, in my opinion, a great card. Now, the weakness of this card is that the 3 Dawn have to be given, so it can be removed. Say you have the 1-drop Nami. Leader effect to attach 1, or attach 1 to your leader. Leader effect to attach 2 to Nami. You have the 3 attach. Brook is online. The opponent swings in, attacks, and KOs the Nami, or bounces Nami to hand, crashes Nami field, whatever you want to call it. Nami's removed. Since there's no longer that Dawn attached, the Brook is now offline and blocker, so he can be played around. True blocker would be had if you attach 3 to your leader. 3 Dawn attached to leader is borderline impossible to get rid of. So, late games, you have a very nice blocker. Eco Robin, OP11, number 9. Common, block 3. 3 cost, a 4k strike with 1k counter. And Dawn X2, 1 attacking. Give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power until the end of your turn. Great card, in my opinion, for this deck. I could see someone wanting to move it, but for a free drop that you want to invest 2 Dawn into to get the full effect, and let's be realistic, you're going to do that with your Luffy leader. You have minus 2k to the opponent, so you're swinging it. If you're swinging to a character, you're swinging in with a net worth of 8k power. On a free drop, that's pretty good. And it's for the turn, till the end of the opponent's next turn. So, this is even better than I initially thought, because not only is it not for this combat, it's for the turn, so you could swing in with something else, say your 1-drop Nami, if you get them weak enough, but you can even just swing in and then shut something off from attacking. Your opponent has a 5k, well, you can give them minus 2k until the end of your opponent's next turn, so they have a 3k. The amount of investment that they needed to swing in with that 3k is not perfect. You have turned off one of their characters. So you have a great offensive piece, a great defensive piece. There might be some better options in a fully optimized deck list, but I think this is clearly a great card in a base deck list. If you're doing a field structure deck format, absolutely. Next up is Frankie, OP11, number 12, uncommon, block 3. He's a 4-cost 4k strike with 2k counter. Your turn once per turn. When your opponent activates an event, all characters get plus 2,000 power during this turn. So, opponent activates an event. This is going to be a counter event that's used to survive. Honestly, this is a great tech piece. This isn't going to be one of the characters you want to play out initially, but when you're towards your late game, don't be afraid to use Frankie to help buff your guys. Your opponent has Ground Death as an example, which is a 4k counter event. So they're going to use that to survive, but now all of your characters are buffed up by 2,000, which with your Luffy leader, you can attach more Dawn and make one of them more powerful. So that's great. Having the 2k counter is very nice, and being at 4k as a power is honestly pretty solid because all things considered, you can attach with your leader and swing in. Or if he activates his own effect, you swing in. Multiple of these can stack. So it's not a bad option. It's really dependent on what your opponent's doing. Green loves counter events. I know your strong symbol out, which has that freeze effect. Charleston, demon-headed 9 swords, Dead Man's Game, tons of counter events. I mean, counter events are very strong. Why wouldn't you run them? So I think the Frankie works as an excellent tank or tech card. I could see someone cutting it down to 2 copies if you're trying to really maximize space. But all in all, I think this is a great card. I'd be keeping this at 4 of in my base deck. Next up is the Chop 2020 Chopper Promo 101 4 block. He is a 4 cost 5k strike with 1 counter. Got blocker, and on play, give a Rested Dawn to your leader. Pros and cons. I don't like blockers on 5ks. I like blockers on 6ks and up because it justifies the ability to make a hit. I like blockers on 4ks and less. 4ks a little rough, but it's like, okay, you're just a high-end blocker for defense purposes. You might be able to swing in, but I don't feel too bad with blocking with you and letting you go. With a 5k block, that's often the same power as your leader. And so, realistically, I don't like it. I just don't like it. If you're gonna block with this, it's because your leader couldn't tank the hit. So realistically, this as a blocker only has value for weaker cards, Frankie, Nami. But if you block into that, you open it up to something that can kill it. That could have swung into. I don't know. I really am not the biggest fan of it. I prefer if they buffed it or debuffed it a little bit, because it just makes it hard to tell what you want. Dawn play, give a Rested Dawn to your leader. Typically not great. It's pretty solid in this deck because you want to attach Dawn to your leader. So I don't think this is the worst card, but I could definitely see this being swapped out for a better blocker. First 2 of is the first super rare ST31 number 1, Sanji. He's a 5 cost 3k strike with 1k counter. 3k for a 5 cost? That's pretty bad. Just wait 1 second. Dawn X2, this character gains rush. Okay, that's not bad. Because you want to attach to with your Luffy leader to give him rush. So you get a 5k rush. Okay, that's not as bad. It's very situational. Ooh. Wait 1 sec. On play, a 1 card and play 1 Straw Hat Crew type character. Will cost 5 or less, other than Sanji, from your hand. So not only do you get a card draw, which is always nice, not to make or break, but Goofy, Blue Green Luffy, very good because of early game card draws like Mr. 2 and Mr. 1. But you get to cheat out another 5 drop. So if you had a 5 drop you wanted to play, or less, you might as well play Sanji to get that character on the board. Very, very strong. It's gonna be a core of your combos. Only at 2, which is a little rough, but this is definitely something you want to take another 2 govs. When you if you were to combine 2 decks together, you definitely want 4 of this card. 1k counter also not hurt. Being realistic. Using defensively. You don't always want to combo with him because like, you already got to fill out your board, but pretty good. In deck, he is starter deck 31, number 2, a common block 5. 5 cost, 6k strike with 1k counter. He's got the blocker effect, and this feels a lot nicer than Chopper's blocker. Because if we're being realistic, a 5k can swing into Chopper and kill him, but a 5k can't swing Jinbei and kill him. So you actually have a layer of defense. On play, draw one card and play up to one true type character card with a cost of 1. And very solid card, getting a very similar effect to Sanji. He's the same cost, but he 3 power more. Well, he doesn't have rush. He's intended to be defensive blocker, and he doesn't cheat out a 5 drop, only a 1 drop. So he's balanced. Your 1 drops tend to be a lot weak. Usopp. OP 11, number 3, uncommon, block 3. He's a 5 cost, 6k ranged with 2k counter. He's a vanilla. Really not much to say. Pros and cons. Cons, vanillas aren't, Pros is a 2k counter, which is pretty nice defensively. And he is 5 cost, so you do have a target for Sanji. You don't have the Jinbei or anything better in your hand. So again, you're going to use them defensively, but it's not the worst thing to use them offensively. Rorozo, OP 14, number 15, player, block 4. He's a 7 cost, 8k slash with no counter. Rush, when attacking, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 1000 power. Turn. I'm a big fan of this card. One of my favorite decks is Faulkner Law. I'll be playing him a lot more if Mihawk wasn't such a big meta and who's a splash leader. And that's a talk for a different time. Zoro is a solid character. Being able to attack the turn you come in is very nice. 8k that can attack the turn you come in, very nice. And giving a minus 1k power is very nice. So you have a net 9k if you're swinging into an opponent. Also force turn. Combo this with Robin, and you got minus 3k on an opponent's character. It'd be a lot easier to move it. So there's not too much to say. He's a straightforward, simple card. Exactly what to do. Having True Rush is also a nice way to go for it, because 8k is pretty good. Counter events usually come into 3k and 4k, where you're seeing a lot more 4ks and 3ks. So if we think about it, being an 8k swinging into a 5k leader, opponent's got to rip 4k of counter in order to survive. So you're taking one of their more powerful events. You're taking an event that also has to rip an additional card of 1k. You're ripping 2 2ks. You're getting out some pretty nasty card advantage off rip without the opponent expecting it. That's the nice thing about Rush. You can kind of anticipate if your opponent might have a rush, and it works in an attack like this, but there's not much to say. Other 2 of in this deck is the super rare from starter deck 31, number 4, 5 Monkey, Gear 5 Luffy. He's a 7 cost 9k strike with no counter. He has this effect: if you have a total of 3 or more given Dawn cards, this character is Rush. Now this is a continuous effect that is constantly looking if you have 3 or more given Dawn. And once it has procced, it gains Rush for the remainder of the turn. Now on play, for every Straw Hat Crew type card on your field, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 1000 power during turn. So, think about this. The same reason we like the Zoro card from before. 7k, 7 cost 8k with Rush, which can really put some pressure at steel games. You now have a 7 cost 9k with Rush. Because if you are able to attach a Dawn to your leader, you've played 7 costs, you have 2 rested Dawn. You attach it to anything. It doesn't need to be 3 or more given Dawns. This character, any card, you have given it Rush. So it works very well with this. Then your leader can be a Straw Hat type card. Your characters of a maximum of 5 can be Straw Hat type cards. And you are also able to have a stage. It can be a Straw Hat type card. So you have 5 plus 1 plus 1, 7 potential cards for a net minus 7,000 on your opponent. So highest power is 13,000 with Gold Roger Secret. You get the maximum effect with this Luffy. Hit him with my 7,000. He is a 6k. You can now swing in 9. That's 6k. Being 6k, you can also swing in with the 1 Dawn attached leader, as well as any 4ks with 2 Dawn attached. Very nice removal. I think that if you had to play a full card that was high cost, this is a great way to do it. My only issue is that it's a little rough in the sense that the opponent can't you don't have resting opportunities. Green is the color where you rest your opponent's cards, not red. So if you want to remove it, it has to be already rested. But I digress. That's still pretty solid. Next up, we have OPO4, number 16, rare, block 1, bad manners, kick force. Interesting event. 0 cost with counter, trash 1 card from your hand. One of your characters, 1,000 power. And it has a trigger, giving up to one of your opponent's leaders or characters 3,000 power. Solid event. You know, you can be tapped out, the opponent thinks 3, but you can use bad manners kick force and pitch a card in order to take a hit that could be lethal. So not much to say. Turning a 1k into a 3k is not bad. Turning a no k into a 3 is really nice. Losing 2 cards in card advantage, a little rough, especially in red, but for a counter event, it makes sense, especially where you want to tap out each turn. Having a 0 cost very. Trigger's also pretty solid. Minus 3k can reduce certain opponents from being able to swing in. If the opponent has a 7k and they don't intend to attach any Dawn because it throws off their curve, minus 3k can hurt them kind of nasty. And they got a 5k, you hit them with the minus 3k, 2k, there's no impact. So, not my favorite event, but it makes 100% sense for being in. Gum Gatling Gun OP13, number 21, a common for the 1 cost with main. Give up to 1 rested Dawn card from your to one of your monkey dudes. Then you can give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power. Turn. So if we're thinking about it, we're being realistic. The 1 Dawn that you use to pay for this cost will be given your rested Luffy. Give up to or to your Luffy cards, which includes your leader. So your opponent's character gets minus 2,000 power during this turn. That means that is removal. If your opponent has an 8k, attach 1 Dawn to your leader by paying this cost. It's gonna rest the Dawn to pay the cost of the card. Then minus 2k, you're 6 into 6, you can actually swing in. The gap has been closed by a net of 3,000 power. Then this deck wants your Luffy leader to have a Dawn attached. So now that your Luffy leader has a Dawn attached, you can attach 2. Okay? Attach 2 to one of your characters. Granted, you have to have 2 arrested, but you gotta figure out some way to get those arrested by playing art. So yeah, not much to say. Card works more as a piece thing, but it's good. I can see someone wanting to cut this out. They're exclusive to monkey cards. But you technically have 2 other targets. You have the 7-drop Luffy and the 1-drop Luffy. Something. Giving minus 2k requires a character to swing in, but 8th on turn, you do Gum Gum Gatling, give it minus 2k. You have your Zoro, for example. You've got Rush for 7 Dawn, so 8k minus another 1. You get a net 11,000 power. Trigger, give one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power during this turn. It's a great no. I'd probably add this to my hand before I use the trigger, but it's the defensive option. You want to keep that defense up. Not a mandatory. Describe or discern. And the final card we're taking a look at is actually the most expensive card in this deck. How good it is. 1,000 Sunny. Starter deck 31. 5 a common block 5. The 1 cost stage. On play, top 5 search for a Straw Hat Crew type character. So it's like Nami. Then activate main this stage and give up to one of your on cards or the Luffy. And for targets, you have 1 drop, 7 drop, and your. So first off, being able to give Arrested Dawn or very don't need to pay anything once this comes out. And top 5 search. Nami is great for that reason. You got a manga rare. She's one of the best top 5 searchers due to tags. Straw Hats being everywhere. So very, very nice card. Want in any red Straw Hat based deck. Bravo is a deck that is Bravo is a leader, but using red and black Straw Hat Crew cards, this is mandatory must. This leader wants him. Red Green Luffy probably wants him. Very, very nice card. Which is why they had to make it the best card in the deck for 4 of. But that covers the entire catalog of cards. Now that we've got that covered, let's talk about some combos and why you might want to play this deck. So this deck is very aggressive and it's character removal while setting up bodies on the board. It also does something that you don't get too much of One Piece, which is playing other cards, comboing by filling up the board. It feels like a very good blend of offense. Since getting that Dawn utility by attaching it to it allows for any of your characters to pose as a pet. So that, if you like a solid, I can only describe as a mid-range deck, maximizes your Dawn, might be for you. If you were to pick up 2 of these decks and combine them together, here's what I would do. You want 4 of the Luffy's, 4 of the Sanjis, and 4 of the Thousand Sunnies. While Gum Gum Gatling is a nice card, I don't think it's your best option. Giving minus 2,000 power to one of your opponent's characters, pretty solid, but I don't think it's going to be the break that let's do. Now, if you feel like you need that minus 2k, you could run this at 4 copies. But it is also something that you're going to pull more often than not if you're at 4 copies. So I'd cut this down to 2. The 1-drop Monkey D. Luffy. He's fine, but you could cut him down to 0. I think would work. If you still want him in the deck and want to cut him down to 2, then maybe pull the chop. You can pull 2 from the chop, and I think you'll be fine. This guy's more of a tech piece than any. Not my favorite. Maybe you could pull 1 of the Nami. I wouldn't get rid of 2 of the Nami. Having that top 5 search in an early character is nice. Maybe pull 1 because you're replacing her with 2 copies of Sunny. And if you needed to pull another one, Zoro. Again, I like to have them as a late end, but you have 4 non-counter cards that are all. So I wouldn't. I'd get rid of 4 of the Luffys and 2 of the Gum Gum Gatlings and pull in 2 Sanjis. But that's my opinion. You're gonna find different ways, and you're gonna find Straw Hat cards that combo a bit better with really however you play. And speaking of combos, let's see your turns and how you might want to combo. Turn 1, optimal play, 1000 Stunning. Not only are you going to top 5 search, but being able to set up your engine for the rest of the game. Same. Very. If you don't have 1000 Sunny, I would mulligan and try and get the 1000 Sunny. Unless your hand is too good to give up, try and get that 1000 Sunny in your opening hand. Don't have them? Well, Nami. Nami searches out a Straw Hat type crew. Pick up the 1000 Sunny. You want to get them as soon as you can. Since you've had your one dawn turn, you're gonna want to go to your free dawn turn. You got more Namis, and you don't have the Sunny. You play up a Nami and a Brook. Not a bad combo. You can search out for the 1000 Sunny. If you're at your free dawn turn and you got the Sunny, you're probably fine for the next one. But yeah, either Nami Brook, continue digging for the Sunny, or Nico is not a bad option at all. You have the ability to set her up for next turn, be able to use your leader to give her +2, and you can start putting some pressure on your opponent's characters. Defense giving you offense. Very nice card. If you got the Sunny, Robin. Don't have the Sunny, Nami Brook. That's where I would go. 5 dawn turn. Number one thing you want to do is Sanji. By this time, should have gotten a Sanji with searchers to pick up the Sunny. You have the Sunny already. Pick up the Sanji. Sanji's gonna let you play essentially every card in the deck. Any character. You're gonna draw a card. Pretty nice. Ideal Sanji play. Number one play you want to hit up Jinbei. And if you don't have the Sunny, play the Sunny. So Sanji, Jinbei, Sunny. That is your for one combo. Getting a 5k. Well, you're getting a 3k that can go to 5k and rush. A 6k blocker, and your 1000 Sunny. You can then rest the Sunny, attach 1 Dawn to Luffy, attach 2 rested Dawn to your Sanji. Now you have your 5k rush and a 6k loop. So, very strong combo. If you have your Sunny, you go Sanji, Jinbei into Nami. This it takes up another bit of the board. You don't have to play the Nami if your board's too good, but this is a searcher. You don't have the Nami, you don't have the Sunny, you can go to Luffy. If you really want to attack him with Sanji, you go Sanji and Chop. Dawn play of giving a rested Dawn to your leader will turn the on. You can then attach 2 to your Sanji's in, and you still get a blocker. But as good? No. But it's an alternative to Sanji. And in terms of what else can you do, your valid targets is Frankie, Robin, Brook, Luffy, and Usopp. If you don't have the Chop, you don't have the Sunny, your 5 dawn turn, you paid it all for the Sanji for some reason, I wouldn't advise the Brook. You're not going to get the blocker. He's cheap enough where you could play him on another turn. Robin's a good way to set up some board presence and prepare offense. Now, it's not the worst time to set up a Frankie for an offensive piece, but it's not my advice. And then finally, got Luffy. Usopp, I would pick up over Frankie. So, top combos. Number 1, Sanji, Jinbei, Sunny. Number 2, Sanji, Jinbei, for free, Sanji, Chopper. And this is assuming you don't have the Sunny out. Number 4, I say Sanji. Number 5, Sanji, Usopp. Number 6, Sanji, Frankie. 7, Sanji, Brook. Be smart, discern what you can and can't do. But that is about the most for the combos for the card. 7 Dawn turn, you're into a tricky piece if you're Luffy and Zoro. Now here's my rule of thumb. You're at 7 Dawn, tapping it all out to get your character out. You have nothing left to attack. If you have the Sunny, you can run the Luffy. Because now you can Sunny Luffy, or you can Sunny to leader, and then leader attached to whoever, including Luffy. So there's that. Now, if you're on your 7 Dawn turn, your opponent just finished up their 6 Dawn turn. Your opponent just finished up their 6 Dawn turn. Do they really have anything good that you want to hit with the Luffy? Not quite. If you want this offense, you can absolutely go for it, but I don't think you're getting the optimal position. Most ability. However, go for Zoro. Zoro's pretty vanilla, so it's not feeling like you're wasting the card. You could swing in 8 lead, you swing in 8 some character and give it minus 1k. It's honestly not an option. On your 7 Dawn turn, I prefer Zoro to Luffy. That's my opinion. Luffy just doesn't get its full utility until a little later in the game, and apply some pressure and remove. Now, on your 7 Dawn turn, you could also build up the board for 9 Dawn turn when you're trying to set up that Sanji, Jinbei, Nami, Sanji, Jinbei, Sunny get you 3 cards on the field. If you manage to protect them somehow, Monkey D. Luffy being the 4th card on the field plus your leader for 5 means that you have a minus 5k. So a minus 5k into something on your opponent's 8 Dawn turn or 6 Dawn rested is not bad. So I'd say the Luffy is better for a later game approach as a tall versus the Zoro, which is an early game approach for a tall. Once you hit that 7, some Gum Gatling's gonna take precedent when you're trying to move something. Bad Manners Kick Course. You have 3 great targets. You have Luffy 7 drop, your Zoro that's 7 drop, and your Sunny 8. And these are 3 great targets because you have 4 Zoro, 4 Luffy, and 4 Sunny. And if you're running a fully optimized version, you only need 1 Sunny on the field. Maybe get 2 Luffy's out, but you need here. Or the same thing with Zoro's. And Manners Kick Course, arguably, if you have to pitch a card, Zoro is your number 1. Save it till the late game. You don't want to give your opponent a 2 card advantage in the early game. You're about 1 to 0 life. That's when you want to start pitching cards. Bad Manners Kick Course. Gum Gatling is when you can easily remove an opponent's character that, right? Or if they have a blocker that's kind of a pain, something like Dawn Krieg, where there's 6k blockers, Gum Gatling would help put on some pressure and get that blocker because the investment's not worth it. Don't block, or there you go. But that's it. I think the deck is very. I think if you're looking to get into the One Piece card game and or used to very straightforward deck, this is one to go with. If you're a fan of the Luffy leader and you don't want to play something complex, very straightforward. The deck opens up a lot of opportunity to be enhanced by combining cards that attach Dawn to your leader to turn on the effect, or by running more optimized Straw Hat. I think the cards that you're getting in the starter deck, which is Brook, Sanji, Jinbei, Luffy, and Sunny, are all good Straw Hat cards in a lot of different decks. I think the Zoro as a tall is really nice. The Frankie's effect's really good. Getting 4 copies of the Nami is it's in its own part. See, that's 345 for a single copy. It's more than the Luffy super rare. Or the Sanji super rare. Second most pricey card in the deck. Pair from Block 1. So that's gonna do it for today. I think I like this deck, and it's one I can see myself playing. Ultimately, it's you want to play. Let me know if you want to play. If you run any spins on it, this deck you played. We had a local field structure event. This wasn't what I played, but this was very tempting. Get to what I played on. Good play. Good do for today. As always, my friends. I hope you have a beautiful day. Stay sloppy. Bye.